co-defendant, Mr. Cornelius Smith, count one charged with first-degree murder. The gang that carries a sentence to life in prison if convicted.
Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about Straight Dropp. Now, Straight Dropp, aka Justin Johnson, is one of the guys who was arrested, and probably you could say the primary guy who was arrested in the shooting death of young Dolph. Now, it seems like he's had a lot of things going on in court, man. Originally, he got brought into court because he needed to be officially charged. He was officially charged, and he was they let him know he was facing a murder sentence, a first-degree murder sentence, and the consequences of that, if he's found guilty, would be life in prison or other, you know what I'm saying? Now, also, he's had a thing going on with his lawyer. When he first went to court the very first time, he told the judge he'd be able to get an attorney, but they found out it was taking too long. Like, the judge didn't like how long it was taking, so during one of their last visits to court, the judge ordered that he have a public defender. Now, the public defender that he got was a well-known lawyer in the Memphis area, man. So he was well-known throughout Memphis or whatnot, right? So it seems like Straight Dropp was not feeling that, man. He was like, man, if I get a public defender, I ain't got no chance to fight this case and beat this case. So it looks like he got his money up and hired his own attorney out of Nashville. So I'm going to be talking about this news story that tells the details of what went down. Now, before we get to the specifics and break down all these details, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And man, let's get it. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about this news story, man, coming out of Memphis. Now, at the local Fox News affiliate in Memphis, man, there's a story that has the headline that says this. It says, man accused of killing young Dolph hires Nashville attorney. Now, it looks like Justin Johnson, a.k.a. Straight Dropp, you know what I mean? And his name is Straight Dropp because that was his rap name that he went by. And he was known as that name as a rapper. And I'm not really sure if that was the street name as well, but that was his rap name, right? Now, Straight Dropp ended up having to go to Nashville to get an attorney because it seems like, man, his idea or whatever he could buy for an attorney within Memphis, it might not have been a possibility. Maybe there was some sort of issue there as far as getting a Memphis attorney. Maybe somebody in Memphis didn't want to defend him in this high-profile case because, young Dolph was a local hero, and people have feelings and emotions already tied to the case, even though everybody is innocent until proven guilty. Now, the story starts off by saying this. It says, one of the men accused of killing Memphis rapper young Dolph has hired his own attorney. Like I said, there was a lot of debate and back and forth with the judge, because the judge wanted them to hire an attorney quickly so they can get the trial and we can get things started, right? But there were some issues because Straight Dropp didn't have an attorney. They gave him a public defender, and now it looks like he dropped that attorney and went to hire his own attorney. Now, Justin Johnson, a.k.a. Straight Dropp, the man accused of shooting and killing Memphis rapper young Dolph, is no longer being represented by Junie Ganguly. Now, Junie Ganguly is a well-known public defender in Memphis. He's got a reputation with, working some high-profile cases and all that, right? Now, Ganguly confirmed with Fox 13 that Johnson had hired his own attorney, Luke Evans, out of Nashville. So it looks like Luke Evans is a Nashville attorney that, Justin Johnson, or a.k.a. Straight Dropp, reached out to, and it looks like everything worked out in his favor as far as what he could provide for them, Now, young Dolph, whose real name is Adolph Thornton Jr., was gunned down last November at Makita's Homemade Butter Cookies on Airways Boulevard when he went to buy cookies for his mom. Now, everybody remembers this story because, it shocked the hip-hop world. You had young Dolph, one of the most well-known, most well-liked underground artists, and I don't even want to say underground because he had already got to mainstream. It's just that he was independent. So I guess the best way to say it is young Dolph was probably the most successful independent artist at that time, as far as Memphis rap is concerned. And that just, man, his sound resonated with a lot of people. A lot of people rock with him, Key Glock, the whole PRE movement, Jay Fizzle. He really put it down, man, and put a lot of rappers in the game, man. And his contributions are going to be sorely missed. So always rest in peace, young Dolph, right? Now, the story continues by saying this. Minutes after he walked into the store, gunfire ripped through the store's windows, leaving bullets and glass scattered in front of the lobby, and the 36-year-old rapper dead. Now, they're talking about the day that young Dolph lost his life, right? He was shot and killed in cold blood Sad situation for hip hop, man. The whole hip hop community mourned him, and it just didn't sit right with people, man. This is one of the times where I've ever seen the whole hip hop community say, nah, we need to find out who did this. They need to be brought to justice. That is rare because most times, street culture permeates all throughout hip hop. So like the idea that the person will get caught or the legal system will get involved is never an option. People usually wait for street justice and stuff like that. But it looks like, man, the long arm of the law was able to catch the two suspects, Justin Johnson and another guy by the name of Cornelius Smith. Now, what's wild is there was a third suspect, but for some reason, he's been lost, man. I don't know what happened to dude, man. Ever since they were captured, like he was captured with Justin Johnson, it seems like, man, there's been so many rumors about that. I don't know where to go with that, right? Now, also in this report, you can see this tweet from the local, Fox reporter there in Memphis. And this guy, Jeremy Pierre, he's been following this story all the way through. So he says this in the tweet. It says, straight drop, Dropp's lawyer. Justin Straight Drop Johnson, the man accused of killing Memphis rapper Young Dolph, is no longer being represented by Junie Ganguly. Ganguly confirmed Johnson hired his own lawyer, Luke Evans, out of Nashville, confirmed he is now representing Johnson. Now, this ought to be interesting and see how that plays, man, by having a lawyer that's not from the local area, but still within the state. I mean, it sounds like it's going to cost a lot. Now, the story finishes by saying some things. It says, an autopsy would later reveal that Young Dolph suffered 22 gunshot wounds to the neck, back, and torso that day. So talking about the fact that Young Dolph was shot several times, all adding up to 22 gunshot wounds, man. So, I mean, you could tell that they were using some crazy type of guns, some crazy type of weapons. And it's a tragedy when you hear that. Now, in January, Johnson was formally indicted in the killing. Johnson faces multiple charges, including first-degree murder, attempted murder, and theft of property of $10,000 to $60,000. In February 2022, Johnson pleaded not guilty. So that's where we are today. It looks like he pleaded not guilty, and he's hired a new attorney. So we'll see how this goes when it goes to court. But there's already been rumors that Justin Johnson hasn't had a good time in jail. They're saying that Straight Drop got into a fight and actually got beat up while in jail. Now, if you're innocent, I mean, it is what it is. But if you're not, people are going to feel a certain type of way. And a lot of people in the streets, they kind of already made their mind up about this situation due to some of the behind-the-scenes details about PRE, a lot of the smaller street crews and things like that were going down at the time. Now, will we see this play out in court? Obviously, we will. And there will be more updates to follow this. But y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments, man. Do y'all think that Justin Johnson, a.k.a. Straight Drop, is going to be able to get a fair trial in Memphis? Or do you think that the fact that he went and got a lawyer from Nashville shows that a lot of the lawyers in Memphis just weren't willing to represent him at this time? Now, with that, this has been your boy Big Man. Do me a favor. Make sure you drop a comment. Tell me what you think about this. And also, man, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you get a notification every time I drop this hot content. And we out of here. Peace.